Hey skiers, I'm Jeff from SkiEssentials.com.
And I'm Bob. How's it going?
Bob and I are here today to do what is going to be our narrowest 2026 ski comparison. This is the real narrow stuff.
Yeah, a lot of people love this category.
Yeah.
This is what real skis should be.
People do say that.
Yeah.
Yep. The range up here is basically, we're just looking at it, 66.5 to 71, which we could have had in the last video, but I think it belongs more in this video.
Yeah.
That's that Hero LT behind you. And I don't know, a couple things. We've been talking about this category internally a little bit. I find it interesting in the sense that I actually think it's more challenging to contrast these skis. You know, we call these comparisons, but really
right.
The more important information is when we're contrasting skis. And I find when you get this narrow, there are just more subtle differences between them.
Yeah, and we were just noting that even after the first 2.5 skis,
it's just like two sheets of metal.
Yeah, the remaining 16 skis or however many there are up here are a lot more similar.
Yeah, but we will see some variance in things like turn radius and inclusion of carbon, not inclusion of carbon, slalom versus giant slalom.
Price
is an interesting one. So I think there are some fun conversations to have along the way. The other thing I'll say is there's not a tremendous amount of ski footage that we get to put in this video, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So it's mostly just going to be Bob and I talking, and hopefully we can keep it entertaining.
Sure.
Anything else you want to say?
I think that this is also just gives people a good idea of where we are as a company in terms of what brands we buy within this range.
Yep.
There obviously a notable lack of
Vocal,
Fisher, stuff like that.
Yep.
And obviously a high quantity of Stockli skis.
There's a whole Stockli section.
There's a whole Stockli section. There's an atomic section and head.
Yeah.
So that's, as a company, that's where we've landed.
Yeah.
So yes, there are other skis out there that fall into this frontside category.
I mean, there's tons.
Tons.
Because if you included every company's race department skis.
Right.
But that would be really boring.
Yeah.
Because once you have to adhere to FIS regulations, then it's even harder to contrast skis.
Yeah.
For a reason.
Yeah. I think it's good to point out that we acknowledge that there
are other skis up here that we could talk
other
about.
Brands, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's good to acknowledge. I think the 8 Stocklis in a row is a saving grace.
Yeah, it is pretty fun.
Last thing I'll say is last night we held a race tuning clinic with Graham, who's the general manager of our shop here in Stowe, Pinnacle Ski and Sports.
Yeah.
And if you're shopping in this category, I would encourage you to watch that, because a lot of the things that he talked about really don't apply to all mountain skis. You don't need to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
But when you're in this category, that's where you actually make a difference.
Yeah.
Is the subtle tuning. So
yeah,
check that out if you're shopping in this category. And Bob, I think you're going to get us started, right?
Yeah.
With a fun outlier.
You always got to have an outlier, whether it's an interesting DPS in the last one or a Faction Mogul Pro in this one.
Do we want to do weight?
We can do weight. I think people will want to know what this is. Obviously not a carving ski in the traditional sense of the word. This is a competition mogul ski.
Maybe not for you.
And but it fits here because of its singularity of purpose and its waist width.
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a strict mogul ski, pretty straight, pretty straightforward, that allows you to take a very direct line down moguls, then this is what you're looking for. It's safe to say it's the best mogul ski on the wall up here.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
It's just under 1,500 grams, so pretty light here in the 179. And this is what people use at the highest level of mogul competitions. Not a whole lot more to say about that. It's just a poplar wood core here. Dimensions should be on this ski
I think
here.
they are. They're
in
really
that
small.
tiny writing.
Small print.
Oh my goodness, 166.90. So pretty straight, and if you're interested in turn radius, I think it says 19 meters. You know, modern mogul skis still have quite a bit of camber and not a ton of rocker. You know, that slight bit of rocker is meant to help with just that initiation phase. But certainly we're not looking at twin tip style rocker in a freestyle sense, just a little bit in the tail here. Again, just to help release from those super quick and dynamic mogul turns. And then flex-wise, they're actually like not that soft.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of people will think that a mogul ski is going to be soft,
Pretty stiff.
just to help with the flexion through the bumps and the troughs. Once you get to the upper level, you just kind of have to think like you're a competitive mogul skier and you're going 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
You need some support.
Yeah.
And I feel that when I'm on softer skis, like Elan Ripstick 88 comes to mind, or even an Atomic Bent 90,
Sure.
that once you get going fast, you start to lose the support of the ski. So if you're looking for a mogul specific ski, and you're more aggressive, don't always think that softer is better. There is a good mix, and it does take a little while to figure out kind of what suits your size, your style, and your speed. And for upper level skiers, they definitely need that level of responsiveness. You know, it's got to be quick, it's got to be supportive. But yeah, that's a competition mogul ski. I don't think people need this ski unless you're competing in moguls.
Well, I was just going to ask, like, you're very good at skiing moguls, in my opinion. Is this something that you would like to own?
You have to set your whole day to it,
Right.
Or whatever time you're on snow. And similar, I think it's interesting because it fits with something like a slalom
Sure.
ski, a 12.1 meter radius slalom ski.
In its limitations.
And its singularity. Like, you have to be fully committed
Yeah.
to what the ski wants to do. There's very little variance. So yes, as a part of just having something that's unique and individual, but it's also like you need to have the right technique. These skis are super narrow. Your
Right.
feet need to be glued together. If they're not, then they're going to be all over the place.
Yeah.
So I think most skiers that are basically more of an all-mountain skier, it's pretty unique.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, like I have no interest in owning these.
I mean, no. Like, I would
Yeah.
rather just ski moguls on a Solomon Stance 84
Yeah. Sure.
and call it a day.
Yeah.
And be able to do other stuff too.
If I skied these on a regular basis, I would just ski them in the park and do upright 360 mute grabs.
Yeah. Yeah, you really got to get your iron cross
Yeah.
going.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But a fun one to start with because
Yep.
it's very different. That one's quite easy to contrast to other skis up here. And this one kind of is too. These first two are a little bit easier to compare and contrast. Did you talk about price? I don't think.
Sorry, no, I didn't.
So it's $649 there in the faction Le Mogul. And this one's on the lower side of price too. And after this, we never even touch anything under $1,000. We do start to include bindings with just about everything, with a few exceptions. But still, most of this
Yeah.
category it comes along with a high price tag, especially when we get into the Stockli section. This is the Atomic Redster X7. I've always thought this is a really nice ski. It comes in at $799.95 with bindings, so it's like pretty affordable.
Yep.
You know, if like take out the binding and you're looking at a $600-ish ski on its own. And it's a poplar and ash wood core. We get a single sheet of metal and we get RevoShock C. So there's quite a lot of technology in it. I always forget 15.1 meter turn radius in this ski, 69 underfoot. So it's kind of right in the middle when it comes to at least turn radius in this category. And it's not tremendously heavy. It's 2,650 grams on our scale. It's you know, it's not soft, but it's probably one of the softer skis up here. And basically what you get is a ski that's really easy to control, not fatiguing if you're skiing it over the course of a long day, and just something that will make really, really pretty turns. It's really not built for speed. It really contrasts like the Redster G9.
Yeah,
like that's
one of these two.
I think especially the G9, because the X9s kind of feels like more of a similar thing, just stronger, because I don't think the X9s really prefers speed either. That ski prefers like angles and across the fall line skiing, and that's kind of how I think of this ski as well. It's not going to have quite as much grip and bite as a ski like the X9s, but I'd say enough for most skiers. You know, like, again, it's always hard to like have these exact conversations in these videos, because most of the people that watch our videos, especially this category, you know, my guess would be they're all pretty good skiers. So when I say most skiers, I'm probably not talking about like most of you, but if you're looking at the general skiing population, this is a fantastic place to be. 69 underfoot does come with some limitations. So, you know, it's kind of like, it's a good place to be if you're on firm snow a lot of the time. So like New England areas that don't get a lot of snow, Midwest skiing, stuff like that, that's where this is really going to shine. For me, out west, like, it certainly has a place, but I personally, in general, like living in kind of the previous category that we were talking about, that mid-70, because 69 will really start to dig in quite a bit.
I think you have to know enough about skiing to know that you want a sub-70
exactly.
carving ski of really any level.
Well, that's like true, this whole category. That applies to this whole category. Is if you're, this is kind of specialized stuff, and there are a lot of loud voices out there that say things like, these are the real skis, this is where everyone should be. There's no point in going wider ever.
Right.
And I would say that's like more than a slight exaggeration. You know, if you want to be in this category, you're looking for certain attributes.
Yeah.
But it's a fun one because it's not expensive, and you get a lot of precision and a lot of performance.
Yeah.
It's just not, it's not a speed-driven ski.
Yeah. And a great deal.
It is a great deal, right? Like, you know, I think like $800 it's not cheap, but when you look at it in this range, I mean, it's even cheaper than the Mogul.
Right.
And there's like way more technology in it, you know? So it's, I don't know, I think there's something to be said there.
First on our Stockli series, I guess, mini Stockli comparison within the comparison. This is a Laser MP, and this is billed as the women's version of the WRT. So basically, we have
8.
We have four skis that are based off of the WRT platform.
Yep.
So same dimensions in the MP, WRT, WRT Pro, and Odermatt edition. This one does not have the carbon laminates of the other ski. It has a lighter wood core, still has 2 sheets of metal. And what we're looking at here is just the application of their soft flex technology here. So they just lightened it a little bit and softened the flex in the shovel and made it more accessible, which is what puts it on the other side versus these other WRT series of skis. So you're still getting that really high-end, smooth Stockli feel. You're getting that upper-end Stockli price, $1,919 ski with binding here, but you are getting that quality, and that's a word that will echo throughout the next bunch of skis here, is that you're just getting that precision and quality in the construction process, and does make Stockli stand out, not just in this crowd, but overall. 2,998 grams, so a little bit heavier than what we saw in that Redster there, and a nice shorter turn radius, 12.8 here in the 160 centimeter length. So kind of like a sporty slalom carver, just a little bit more accessible with that shape.
Yeah, it's like fairly easygoing.
Yeah, I think Mar, our coworker, skied it on our Stockli day. I'm not sure.
I think Bryce did too.
Yeah, we had a couple of ladies on it, and no complaints.
Yeah.
You know, like anyone who gets on this thing is very excited.
Yeah.
You know, if you don't have that preference for a narrow waist, this is 66 underfoot, 67 underfoot. It's very narrow.
Yeah.
You know, and the closer you're getting to that mid-60s range, the more you're really having that, you know, hockey skate-like feel where, you know, it can get a little tippy. And if you're trying to ride it flat, something with such a short turn radius, you can feel it start to waver. So they certainly prefer to be on edge, and this softer flexing technology just allows lighter weight skiers to access that with greater ease.
It'd be fun to have my wife ski them this season and film her, and then watch.
Yeah. Book it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, good one to start. Oh my God.
They're
Things
heavy.
and sharp.
Yeah.
Just almost cut my surgically repaired hand back open. Next ski up here, this is one that I really like. This is the Stockli Laser SX. I've always been a fan. I'm taking this padding thing off for fun. Oh, there's 3 of them.
Oops.
I regret that. I've always really liked this ski since they came out with it. A lot of it is emotion driven, but this is the SX basically signifies that this is their skier cross ski. And it's toned down significantly from the SX FIS version, but it's still a phenomenal ski, and I still think it like captures some of that feel.
Yeah.
It's a poplar and ash wood core, and then it's always tough for me to remember turtle grip or turtle shell. This is turtle shell 2.0, like Dunder Mifflin.
Yeah.
And it's pretty cool. Like, I feel like a lot of companies are doing similar things now, and Stockli like actually can get a little bit confusing because they do a ton of these things in many different ways. This one is a single slit cut in the metal that basically like kind of winds down the fore and aft sections of the ski pretty far. You know, they've got some others that are like 2 side by side that don't go very far. This actually goes pretty far. And there are 2 sheets of metal, like we said, like basically everything left in this category has 2 sheets of metal. These all also, like we said, they do all come with bindings. They don't all have the bindings on them because basically they come like pre-drilled with these kind of protective stickers over them, and we felt like we should probably just keep the protective stickers on for filming.
Yep.
But with bindings, it's $1,889, so we're basically in the same kind of price range for a while here with Stockli, with a couple standout differences. And yeah, I just think it's really fun to ski. It's 70 underfoot and a 16 meter turn radius, and Stockli even puts it in a lot of their materials that this one's better for making those bigger sweeping turns. That's how I like to ski, and I also kind of really enjoy if you're going to take a little bit of torsional stiffness out of the tip of a ski, because it just makes turn initiation so much smoother and more gradual. And I personally will take that over a more harsh turn initiation that you get with a lot of skis over there. Even these right here, they're pretty aggressive in how they start a turn. And there's 2 sheets of metal throughout this whole ski. Underfoot, it's pretty stiff, and that metal's not cut up at all, so you get plenty of torsional stiffness underfoot. You just get a more easily manipulated tip, which I really, really like. So I think it's a really fun place to be. It's kind of interesting because you don't see that many of them. Like, these are way more popular. WRTs, maybe not the GS, but the WRTs, you know, here in Stowe, you see them left and right, and you generally don't see as many SX. And I feel like a lot of people would really, really enjoy owning and skiing this ski.
Yeah, it seems a little bit more appropriate for general all-mountain use.
Totally. And like, you know, 70 underfoot's narrow, but at least there's a little bit under your foot that's not going to feel just like super, super catchy. So I think they do a really good job with the SX. It's admittedly one of my favorites in the Laser line, and it always has been. And yeah, some of that's coming from emotion, but not all of it. And 1,700 grams on our scale here. I don't know if I mentioned that. So something that Stockli does very well is they keep their high-performance skis impressively light.
Yeah, they do a really nice job at that.
Yeah, like for how damp they are.
Yeah.
I mean, that, like, how do you achieve that sound at 1,700 grams? Pretty impressive.
Yeah, I know, that's their job.
Yeah.
They do a good job at it.
Not our job, no.
This is a Stockli Laser SC. So not a huge jump from SX to SC in
this
terms
one's
of
got what, flex torsion control?
flex torsion control, so multiple slits
Another.
in the ski.
Yeah.
But yeah, poplar and beech wood core, 2 sheets of metal. We do get that flex torsion control, so allowing more of the tip to articulate. And just a little bit different of a flex pattern, more similar to like that MP, I think, in the shovel here, but then stiffer and more responsive throughout. We also get their stiffer black sidewalls in the SC. So if you think about a sidewall as a vertical laminate, if they put stiffer plastic in there, it's going to adjust how the ski flexes and how it reacts to firmer snow. In this case, it does it more precisely and more directly. 1,700 grams here in the 170, and when we add bindings to this, we're at $1,989. Again, most of these come with that SRT 12 system binding, so we get that, you know, just the slight riser plate to it, and then that nicer binding certainly gives it more of a stout feel underfoot once you add that plate to it, similar to what we'll see in that next SC there.
Yep.
But yeah, I think that other than the Mogul, I've always found this to be really fun in bumps. If I wasn't going to take a Mogul, I would probably take an SC. It is quick, it is supportive, it is 70 underfoot, 14.9 meter turn radius. So basically just a more shapely version of that SX.
Yeah, and I think I may have misspoke and said that was poplar and ash. And
okay.
They're both poplar and beech.
Yeah. They kind of vary the amount of beech. So as we get closer to me, increase beech.
Correct.
But yeah, similar kind of build and overall feel to that SX, just more of a like a sporty S-shaped turn carve in this Laser SC.
We at least like increase the sportiness from SX to SC to WRT.
Yeah.
And then it gets a little bit more complicated.
Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, these are, super smooth. This is another, like we see more of these here than SXs for sure. I don't know.
It's hard to say why. They're quite similar.
Yeah.
Like even like did you get weight 1,700?
1,700, yeah.
You can feel a slight difference in the tip.
Yeah.
But they're both like kind of softer. They feel quite similar.
Yeah.
And obviously like slightly shorter turn radius in the SC. So it's impressive that Stockli can justify making so many skis that are realistically pretty similar.
Yeah.
And you know, a testament to what they do well and what people want and expect from them.
Yeah. And just a consistent thing throughout all of these Stocklis is this metal insert in the tail and just this flat overall feel. You know, there's not really no point in going over any type of rocker or taper in this category.
No.
But certainly putting more metal in the tail as opposed to leaving it plastic or sidewall material, ABS, whatever it might be, gives it a little bit more power towards the end of the turn.
Yeah. It also we also don't even really have to look at like camber height because they're all pretty similar.
Yeah. It's really the stiffness of the ski that's going to adjust.
Stiffness and side cut
Yeah.
profile. Yeah. Thanks, Bob. This is another one that I've always really enjoyed, and we've had on snow a lot over the years, and they're always just, I mean, similar to the SX, they're just so smooth.
Yeah.
And like refreshing. They like make you feel like a good skier.
Yeah, I don't think with the SX or the SC you have to be an expert skier
I
to
agree.
enjoy it.
I
Maybe
agree.
to achieve the totality of the performance, but
Yeah.
we've certainly seen our fair share of intermediate level skiers having
Totally.
an absolute blast.
Well,
on
and
this.
that's a good point. Like, generally, the skiers that you would see reaching the totality of performance don't choose this.
Yeah.
They're over here.
Yeah.
So it's, that it is interesting to think about. Yeah. And then this next one won't take very long to talk about at all. This is the Laser SC Orea, and it's built exactly the same way that Bob just described the Laser SC. Comes with the same binding, comes with the same plate. We have a special top sheet and a special little Swiss-made badge on it. How come the Odermatt doesn't get a fancy badge?
It doesn't need one. It's its entirety is
the whole thing is a
fanciness.
fancy
Yeah.
badge. So, this is kind of Stockli's foray into ultra premium products.
Yeah.
They're more limited. They're more exclusive. You do get a really pretty top sheet. You do pay for it too. So $2,329, including the binding, and that's a lot of money. I don't think we mentioned it at the beginning of the video, but we are going in most approachable to most demanding. And Bob, you raised an excellent point as we prepped for this video. The demand here comes from the price.
Right. It's more demanding on your wallet.
Yeah. And aside from that, you're going to get the exact same performance.
Yeah, I don't think you could make a valid argument that
The top sheet material is going to change anything?
changes the ski.
I wouldn't accept that as a valid argument.
Okay.
We do get an opportunity to look at overall weight, so 3,150 grams when you include this binding. And it is, it's pretty darn cool binding. Like, it really does mimic, like, race plate,
Yeah.
like, look and height off the snow, while still being, a really easy to use
System.
track
Yep.
system. So it's cool. I like the exclusiveness. I personally would have a hard time justifying the extra $350 for a unique top sheet and name, but
Some people don't.
totally, I
Not even a
spend
second thought.
I spend questionable amounts of money on several things in my life, just not here.
Yeah.
And I think that's up to you. Like, if someone tempted me with like a limited edition Scotty Cameron putter that was $150 more,
Yeah.
I'd consider it. Which
No
is,
one else is going to have it.
is really
Yeah.
no different than here. So I don't know. It's a fun
But that's
place.
really the mentality is I want something that fewer
Yeah.
people have.
Yeah, which is okay.
Yeah.
If that's where you want to be and that's what makes you happy, it's perfectly fine with me.
This is a Laser GS. This is the 2025 graphic.
Yeah, thanks for.
So we didn't have the 2026 to show, but just wanted to bring this one in because we didn't feel like we had enough Stocklis apparently.
We just needed 8.
Yeah, and similar to how that SX is kind of the citizens version of the FIS race ski, same thing here with the Laser GS as, a step down from the FIS GS series ski. Still just super high quality, really well made, just like the rest of these skis. Poplar and beech, and one of the reasons why it's on your side of the WRTs is there's a split in the amount of beech from GS to WRT. So we do move up in build once we get to WRT.
Does that one get the carbon underfoot? The GS?
These don't.
Yeah,
No.
so that's another slight difference.
But yeah, 68 underfoot, 17.1 meter turn radius, so slightly longer in that shape, more of that GS mentality. You're on the scale there at 1932, so creeping up, you know, a little bit denser feel. And this 2025 ski is $1,399.95. If you're shopping for a 2026, it's going to go up to $2,049. So not cheap.
Yeah.
But you are, again, getting just that high quality performance, just a unique feel underfoot and throughout the whole tip and tail. And hard to argue if you're looking for a longer turn version of any of these Stocklis that this is the one, this is the place to be. So more of a GS mentality, more of a long turn feel. This is where you want to be.
Yeah, it's really fun to ski.
Yeah. I remember following, I think it was Jamie O'Brien, who has a race background down on this. And you put someone with a race background on a ski like this, and it looks
they do
really good.
Really cool things.
Yeah.
What did you say for turn radius? 19?
No, a little shorter, 17.1.
Okay. I don't know why I had 19 in my head.
It's a good number.
Yeah, 19 is a good, yeah.
But
I mean, that's a really fun place to be.
Yeah.
It's long enough that you can like get going pretty fast, but short enough that you can control it.
Yeah.
It makes like your average skier capable of doing things that your favorite giant slalom World Cup skier does on TV.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this does have the carbon in the forebody.
Yeah, the carbon steering control. And we can talk about that a little more with this next ski. Next ski here is the Laser WRT. Like Bob said, we tick up the amount of beach in here. We get 2 sheets of metal, and we get that carbon steering control. And then remind me what the carbon something.
Carbon power turn is just another carbon plate underfoot,
Thank
similar
you.
to what we'll see in the head Supershape.
Yeah, that's actually a really good analogy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of carbon in this ski, and it is like an interesting progression, at least from WRT to WRT Pro, because they do feel a little bit different, and there's, you know, a change in price as well. So here in WRT, we're at $2,049, so same as the GS. Again, that does include bindings. We just don't have them on the ski itself. These things are really, really fun to ski, but we're getting in a pretty demanding place, in my opinion. So 67 underfoot and a 14.8 meter turn radius in this 172, 1,850 grams on the scale, and you know they don't build any like forgiveness into this thing.
Even in the shovel, there's a noticeable difference between like, the SC and this, and how hard you got to push it.
Way different.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all this carbon is, you know, it's designed for a few things. The carbon steering control is kind of like a counterflexing measure, so it's keeping your skis in contact with the snow more often. With that, and with a stiff flex, and with the other properties of carbon, that being responsiveness and energy, it can kind of get away from you pretty quickly because the ski is so quick and so reactive with a pretty short turn radius.
Yeah.
So you have to just be really engaged. It's not demanding from the perspective of like you have to go really fast and the ski is really heavy and it's going to wear you out in that regard. It's demanding in the sense that you have to just keep going and like keep skiing with a lot of purpose and quickness. Mm-hmm. It's not something that wants to cruise, you know, and like I would even say that the next ski is happier cruising. This ski really prefers like precision and purpose and kind of energetic, quick skiing.
Yeah, I always think of this one as the sportier one.
Exactly. Yeah, that's why where do we start? Sporty. The progression of sporty.
Yeah.
This is like the peak of sporty.
Yeah.
You know, if you're like, thinking about like a really tight racetrack. I'm going with a car analogy, and you're not hitting like super high speeds, but you need tight precision. That's where this ski kind of falls.
Yeah, it's not a drag racer.
No.
You know, it's built for
like
the
a
chicanes.
Right. It's like a go-kart kind of. Yeah. a really nice go-kart. A really expensive go-kart.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're super, super fun to ski. I really enjoy skiing them. You know, I think I like to think that I have the necessary ability level to do the things that they want to do, but it's still, you know, it's pretty fun when I get to watch somebody better ski them. Like if we put Robbie Kelly or somebody like that on them, then, you know, then you really get to see what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, these skis, you do have to kind of treat them as if it's more of an athletic endeavor.
Exactly.
Than,
Yeah.
an extreme sport, you know, like
Yeah.
we got those 110s behind you there that we'll do next, like just a vastly different like mentality of skiing
Extremely.
and how you approach it.
Yeah,
you know, and that's a really good example of a complete opposite.
Complete opposite, Reckner 110.
Yeah.
Complete, like you can't get more different than this.
Yeah. And you do have to adjust both your mental and physical mindsets
100%.
in order to do this.
Well, and I really like that analogy that it's an athletic endeavor, not an extreme sport.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like precision and angles and
Yeah. And your muscles have to have the appropriate fast twitch properties to keep up with the energy of the ski.
It's like these muscles
Yeah.
matter a lot.
Yeah.
'Cause you have to be like constantly like driving forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to keep up with it.
Yeah. But if you can, it's really, really fun, and there's not too much else out there like it. I often think about it in a similar sense with the Redster X9s.
Yep.
You know, I find that ski is very, very sporty too. I think like Stockli qualities keep it on the more approachable side because all of the Stocklis have some amount of smoothness that come along with them.
Yeah.
You know, the rubber dust and things like that, and just high quality manufacturing. Not to say that that's not a high quality built ski over there, but there's definitely something between them, like accomplish similar things, but with a different feel.
This gap though, from
It's pretty small.
SX to Rebels E-Race Pro is pretty tiny.
That's like what I was talking about at
Yeah.
the beginning of the video. Like, it's pretty hard to contrast these skis.
Yeah.
There's certain things to look at, like turn radius and placement of carbon and things like that. But yeah, it's like, it looks quite similar too.
Yeah.
You know, if you lined up all of these skis and took the same skier and made them ski all of these skis, the turns would look quite similar across the board.
I agree.
Like you really have to like articulate the differences in the feel rather than show them.
Yeah. And this is a good example of how the feel is the difference because
like
the shape
difference.
is the same.
Exactly.
Yeah, this WRT Pro shares the mold with that WRT. It substitutes a layer of carbon for an upper layer of metal. So still same wood core construction. We get carbon power turn in this ski, so carbon underfoot. We don't get the carbon steering control in the front. So take that out and then move the top sheet, the metal, or that upper metal laminate up to the top sheet. So adding the metal to the top, we always talk about it as, if you think about it like it's the first point of contact for your binding to the metal. That's going to decrease the friction of distance between your foot and the metal, that damping layer, and it's going to feel smoother and quieter as a result. So we're taking a little bit of that sporty nature out and adding a little bit more of a damp and planted feeling in the WRT Pro. Not much else difference. You know, it's got a different look to it, you know, with that metal up top. 1,730 grams, you know, it's pretty light for how much performance you're getting out of it. And you're paying a little bit extra for that upper level top sheet, $2,209. So must cost them more to
the top sheet
to have the metal on top from a production standpoint.
Right. Because if anything, they're taking out carbon.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is interesting. Like, they're very similar, WRT and WRT Pro. I think like you nailed it with the placement of them. Like, even though this is demanding in like how engaged you have to be, this is a little more demanding in the sense that if you want it to do the same thing, you have to like be a little bit stronger.
Yeah.
And kind of push it a little bit harder because it doesn't just have the immediate snappy nature of the more carbon-based WRT, non-pro.
Yeah. But this is, I mean, this is that ski that people search for. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
you know, we hear it all the time. I want the smoothest, the most like
Yeah.
all of the superlatives you can find for a frontside ski. Like they really all kind of add up to a WRT Pro.
Yeah.
So if that's what you're looking for, this is it.
Yeah, and a lot of people, I mean, we get a ton of comments about that ski and how good it is.
Yeah.
Next one we can talk about pretty quickly. This is the Marco Odermatt, which happens to be the exact same ski as the Laser WRT Pro.
That's it.
That's it. Yep.
More demanding on the wallet.
Yep, it is. You know, it's a really pretty ski, and it's not exactly the same because like the dimples on the top sheet are placed in different locations, and like it, you know, it is there. This has some uniqueness to it, but aside from that, it's the same ski. I think like I don't know. I think the best thing about this is how pretty it is. Like I keep looking at it, and there's like it like kind of changes color in different light. Like sometimes it looks black, sometimes it has this kind of like metallic green hue coming through. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a very, very pretty ski. And you know, it's a cool pro model ski. It's like you'll see Marco Odermatt holding this on World Cup podiums, and like doesn't get much cooler than that when you win a race and you're holding a ski with your name on it.
Yeah, it's a podium ski.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty incredible. It's $2,359 with bindings, which, you know, it's a jump up. It's a $150 premium. That's not like, it kind of seems crazy, but I don't know, having been in the industry and in the sport for a while, pro model skis, they are more expensive because some of that money is literally going to the athlete.
Right.
So if you're a big fan of ski racing in general, if you're a big fan of Marco Odermatt, then you can buy this ski and he'll get some kickbacks from it.
Yeah.
And like, I actually think that's kind of cool. Like in my life, I have bought several pro model skis in like a fun way to kind of like roundabout support my friends. So something to be said for that.
Yeah. I like all sorts of different limited edition graphics.
Yeah.
This has got to be a top one for sure.
It easily is. I mean, and the name, like,
yeah,
just an incredible skier.
I mean, and it's not like they're masking it. It's not like the Idolo. Like the Idolo doesn't have Henrik Harlow's name.
Well, it has Idolo on it.
I know, but it doesn't just say Henrik Harlow on it.
That's
it's
true.
Like, this is very specific to
twice.
Marco Odermatt. Yeah, naming your ski twice. That's pretty sweet.
Says it on the tail too. Yep.
Is that our last Stockli? Wow. Okay.
Yeah, we're done with the Stockli category.
I love the mini Stockli comparison within.
Yeah, the comparison within a comparison.
Yeah. This is a Nordica Dobermann Multigara. We had the Multipista in the previous category. This ski shares construction with that ski, just in a more front side loaded mentality when it comes to shape. This is more angular, more race based in terms of that shape and profile. 3,197 grams there on the scale here in the 175, 70 underfoot with a 16-meter turn radius. And really the big difference here, Multipista, if you remember, much more rounded in the tail and then more tapered in the tip. So a little bit less of that all mountain feel, certainly more of a race-like component going on with the Multigara. Same construction in terms that it has the double core technology. So basically we have 2 horizontal layers of wood, 2 laminates of Titanal, and 1 pulse core laminate. So it's like 5 horizontal laminates sandwiched in this ski, which is really interesting. I mean, those horizontal laminates are made of vertical stringers, but they're just a lot narrower. So it's interesting how they're going about layering the ski and what it does. I mean, these things are very firm to the snow, very connected. You know, they just deliver a nice sense of smooth feeling power. You know, they're pretty difficult to fully manage. I mean, they are on the stiffer side. You know, they're dense, strong skis, and you really start to get more into that race-like mentality once you hit Multigara here. Just a wider-bodied version of a race ski with a slightly more recreational construction.
It's one of my favorites up here.
Yeah.
Because it's it's pretty demanding. You have to ski it pretty hard, and like there's nothing designed to be particularly forgiving.
Yeah.
But it's really fun to ski. It's very rewarding, and I actually think it's a pretty solid value too.
What do we got? We're at
$1,200?
$1,199.99 with bindings.
It's like, you know, it's a premium product, and you see a lot of things ticking up over that price now. It's like, I don't know.
Look at this.
Yeah, it's a great ski, looks great,
Yeah,
performs
I think sharp
great.
looks are a big part of that story for sure. Comp 13 binding on it, so a little bit more of a nod to that race world. And then that zinc plate in between, kind of similar to what we had talked about with the Thunderbird limited edition. So that solid feel underfoot is what you're getting here. You know, it's 70 millimeters. It's wide-ish for this range, but still extraordinarily precise and requiring of all of your attention.
Yeah. Yeah, and snow. Like, this whole category, there's not much variety in the snow conditions that you're looking for.
No, and like you need firm snow
to
maximize the performance.
Yeah. This is the Rossignol Hero Elite LT. This one is pretty interesting. We've got a full beechwood core in here. We've got 2 sheets of metal. We've got that like V cut to the metal. And then we've got line control technology too. So it's kind of similar to the counterflexing properties of the carbon steering control that we talked about in the WRT. That beechwood core definitely gives it a pretty robust, just stiff feel throughout the ski. And yeah, I feel like this is starting to really get into race feel, like solid race feel, even more so than the Multigara. I don't know exactly why they feel different moving from the Multigara to this ski, but I definitely get more race vibes here.
I mean, I think it's the difference between that full vertical sandwich versus a horizontal laminate where, it adjusts the flex is adjusted appropriately.
Right.
And I think it's fair to say that you do get more of a recreational feel here and a little bit more of a race feel here.
Yeah, because it's like it's just built such like a race ski. Yeah. Like true straight down vertical sidewalls and like thick. Yeah. Like it's a thick solid core. The LT stands for long turn. It is like
longer
turn. Yeah, I feel like it's slightly misleading because it's only a 16-meter turn radius, so it's not like you're at like a 20-plus turn radius here. So you can like, you know, you don't have to go 1,000,000 miles an hour to get it to do cool things, but it is like, it's just not as user-friendly as some of these other skis with similar radii. Yeah. Like SX, I believe, was 16. Feels way different. Yeah. Like that ski is so much more compliant at different speeds. This one you kind of have to go at least a certain speed. Like there's no softness to this tip, and it's so wide and like so extended. Yeah. So to get it to kind of like hook in and flex into a turn, you have to be a pretty strong skier. It's also pretty heavy, 3,300 grams on our scale here. So it's like, yeah, I don't know. We're getting into a pretty demanding world. I might actually like, you could put this on the other side of the Supershape and it would.
Yeah, well, we can have that conversation.
It would make a lot of sense to me. One thing that I think is interesting with how kind of Rossignol look does this is the plate doesn't connect. And it's like, it's kind of like it doesn't need to, you know, like we talked about the zinc underfoot on that binding. this thing's just already so stiff that you don't really need to like add much there.
So the connect binding doesn't connect?
It doesn't connect. No. No. But you know what I mean? Like it's so,
it's a toe plate and a heel plate.
But it's already like so stiff right there that
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like you need that much. And also like, as is the nature of their kind of track system bindings, the stand height is very high.
Yeah.
So it's not like you need like a race plate under there to then pick the bindings up, because stand height's got to be higher than like anything that we've looked at so far. That heel is so far off the snow.
I mean, they have that thick chunk of metal right there, right
Yeah.
under the foot too. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's plenty of material.
Yeah, totally. So ton of leverage from this design. Good binding. Like, I like the heel.
Yep, the SPX heel.
Yeah. Yeah. Probably my favorite heel piece so far in this comparison. And really quite different than that Hero Elite MT that we talked about in the last video.
Yeah.
That ski is so much more like encouraging for less aggressive skiers. This one, you need to be pretty aggressive.
Yeah, instead of like multi-turn and long turn, like in what it says it loosely aligns to the radius, it more directly aligns to the speed.
Totally.
So the long turn speed versus multi-turn speed.
Yeah, that's
in its comfort level there.
Yeah, they could rename them.
Yeah.
They should name them like Hero Elite 40 and Hero Elite 50, like Forzas, but in terms of miles an hour, not edge angle.
Yeah.
That would really confuse people.
Yes, especially people with the metric system.
Yeah.
40, that's slow.
That's a good point, yeah.
Yeah, I think we can kind of start having the next phase of our conversation here in terms of demand and how it relates to shape. I think that your point of putting this on the other side of this head Supershape E Original is a great jumping off point for that conversation, and just something that we've talked about internally. What is more demanding, a slalom-oriented turn or a giant slalom-oriented turn, or a short turn versus a long turn? So we have multiple skis here, the S9 and the G9, or the ESL Pro and the E Race Pro here. You can apply that to Original and LT, where you have a similar level of construction, but a short turn versus a long turn.
Yeah.
And obviously multiple schools of thought.
It's like kind of subjective.
Totally subjective.
Yeah.
You could swap those skis.
We did.
Yeah. And you could swap them back, and I wouldn't care.
Yeah.
So basically, like the slalom mentality, and I think this is a good ski to start, as it's really the first one that adheres more to a slalom race shape. So 12.1 meter turn radius here, 66 underfoot in this 170. So super narrow, really, really short arc, definitely built on that slalom race mold. Is this less demanding than the head Supershape E Speed, for example? Because that would be the GS version of this ski directly. Is the slalom cut more or less demanding given a similar build?
Yeah, and I went with less demanding.
Okay.
That was, yeah. And I think, again, it's like totally subjective, but I feel like more people can ski the skis with shorter radii. That's where I landed.
Yeah.
And again, yeah, you could argue either way, but like you don't need to ski them that fast.
Right.
So that's kind of, and like you tip it on edge and like it's gonna do something.
Right. Whereas the original requires,
or the speed.
The speed requires you get going a little bit more.
Yeah, and then
then you're going to start to turn.
Right, and like weighting the tip. And,
yeah.
So it's, I don't know. You could, and like again, you could go either way, because like this one also like you have to make a million turns.
Yeah.
And like you can't really throw it sideways.
Yeah. So that's part one of kind of my counter argument. Like, yeah, you have to do 12.1 meter radius turns.
The whole way down.
The whole way down.
Yeah.
And if you get on top of a long trail, like we have at Stowe, if you're on top of Nosedive,
yeah,
and you look down that highway and you're like, oh boy, like here we go.
Yeah.
Like you're going to just be smoked by the end.
Probably smiling too.
Maybe halfway down. You gotta take breaks.
Yeah.
So like that's one thing that makes it more demanding. My other thought was, if I were given the choice to ski all day on a original or a speed, I would take the speed because it's less tiring, and less fatiguing.
Yeah.
So you can make that longer turn radius ski bend more to your will. You know, maybe not bend in a flex sense because these are stiff, but more in a what my intentions are on the ski.
I mean, that's all it is like, what do you expect out of it?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if you like have the strength and the skills and the technique to make really cool, pretty turns, I think it's easier to do that in a snapshot on a shorter radius ski.
Yeah.
It is more fatiguing over a long day. Like if you're doing that all day, then like, it kind of like flips, and the shorter radius ski could be more demanding in its overall levels of fatigue. But in the initial moment, I think they're easier.
Right. Yeah. And like I have been liking the term like zoom out lately.
Yeah.
Like let's take a broader view of this.
Yeah.
Let's look at it from space. Like you watch someone on a satellite image making turns on this versus the GS version. And that GS version, you're able to stand on it, you're able to ride through the turns, you can adjust edge angle. This, you're just a lot more locked in. You really have to be just back and forth all day. So yeah, it depends on what you want to do.
Yeah, totally.
But yeah, to this ski specifically, you know, we are dealing with that Supershape construction. So World Cup sandwich build, you know, dense wood core, 2 sheets of metal, graphene for stiffness, energy management circuitry in here, all of that stuff similar throughout all of the Supershape lines, and pretty similar to what we'll see in the Rebel series as well. But yeah, you're really getting that slalom mentality out of the shape here to go along with Head's proven World Cup sandwich construction.
Yeah. Pretty good price too. I think we may have missed price on the Rossignol. That one was $1,249. This one we're down to $1,049.
Yeah.
We talked about it a little bit, I think, in the last video. It is a Protector 11, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think that's where they shave some dollars off.
Over the 13.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I totally understand if somebody wants more binding, but it shouldn't be like a major turnoff.
Right.
Especially with this ski, because again, you're not going like that fast.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but great ski and a really good example of starting that conversation of slalom versus giant slalom mentality, and that will apply for the rest of our skis here.
Yeah, I mean, really like pretty simple conversations to have the remainder of this video. This is the Atomic Redster S9. So this is just piggybacking off the original there. This is squarely in the slalom range here. It's pretty darn close to their World Cup slalom ski. It's not exactly the FIS World Cup slalom ski, but it's not dissimilar. It's a poplar and ash wood core. We get 2 sheets of metal. We get RevoShock S, so the metal RevoShock rather than the carbon we looked at in the X7. We do get carbon boost in this ski, so there is some carbon in here. And I mean, these things are the real deal. Like, this is a stiff, gnarly ski.
Yeah.
And like, the Supershape original feels like it has a little bit more roundness to it. This thing's pretty darn like sharp and angular.
Yeah.
So I think that's why it kind of falls to the other side of that ski. Still, like, I think all of these Atomics are great value. $1,049.95 ski and binding, like all 3 of them.
Yep.
And they're all great, and like you can kind of like pick and choose what works best for you. So not demanding on the wallet. But yeah, I think like all the things that we were just saying about how you have to ski a slalom ski, it's even like exaggerated in this compared to the original. So it is it's going to wear you out a little bit. 12.5 meter turn radius here. Really fun, but can be quite tiring over the course of a long day.
Be prepared.
Yeah.
I think that it is people that are seeking to emulate that in-gate turn
Yeah, if you want to ski
without
like
being in the gates.
Right. If you watch some World Cup ski racing and you're inspired by Michaela Schifrin and you want to look like her too, you can get this ski. And, you know, obviously she's the best ski racer in the world, at least on the women's side. It's pretty cool that that heritage, like, yes, like Michaela Schifrin is 100% infused into Atomic's products.
Yep.
And it's like the Odermatt, like there's something to be said about emotions and like who you're watching on TV and your ski heroes. And if Michaela Schifrin is your ski hero, I'd say a Redster S9 would be a great choice.
Yes, I agree. That's like the promo, you know, the idolo of the slalom world.
100%. Yeah. And like, to be honest, I would like to own one. I don't, but I'd love to. Like, I would love skiing this thing. I would ski it for 2 runs.
Yeah.
Or maybe 1.
You just like, you have to go over to either ski the 6-pack or go to
Spruce and ski the shorter lifts.
Yeah, but like riding this thing off the quad or the gondola where you get full top to bottom is it's a tough choice.
I mean, I would just go over to Spruce and ride Meadows.
Yeah.
And cut over to the race hill. And make like, what, 18 turns and then get back on a lift that takes 10 minutes to get back up to the top. Like, that's kind of the sweet spot.
They're hard to keep up with, you know.
Totally.
Anytime I've been on a slalom ski, I've been like, okay, that was fun for 10 turns. But I'm done.
Yeah. 3,200 grams on the scale here. They're pretty hefty. They're pretty dense. This binding system is also, it comes along with some weight, and this is what, a 165? Yeah, so it's not long and, you know, still pretty heavy here.
Yeah.
So.
And then, very similar conversation with this G9, where we have the same construction, just a straighter cut. So everything about the build is the same in this ski. We just have different dimensions that operate in a longer turn format. So 17 meter turn radius here and 67 millimeters underfoot. Again, strong wood core, 2 sheets of metal, steel Revo shock plates, carbon underfoot, same system binding. If you want to make a 17 meter radius turn versus a what did you say?
12.5.
12.5, then go with a G9. And if you think that that is more accessible, like I do, you know, again, like if you gave me a ski to use for the day, I'm taking a G9 over an S9.
And if you're stuck in between, you can get the X9s.
It's amazing. They make something for everyone, don't they?
Yep.
And similar type of conversation with Atomic as Stockli, where there's just these tiny little differences in construction, turn shape, profile, all those things that lead to a different style. And you had mentioned the price is similar, $1049.95 with the bindings. Depends on your style and what you're looking to do. I think that if you are in, you know, like this is kind of where like beer league racing comes into play.
It's such a, like the, gosh, where were we here? Was this a 17?
Yeah, that was
like,
a 17.
Both of them, like most beer league ski bum style races, like great place to be.
Yeah. Yeah, versus something shorter. I mean, you'd have to have a really tight course to get advantages out of more of that slalom-oriented ski. Once you hit G9 or your GS there, 17 meters, I think that's where you want to be for most recreational race courses.
Yeah, and it's nice. Like I feel like the turn radius in general in this kind of like consumer-ish giant slalom ski has come down a little bit. Felt like a few years ago it hovered more around like 1920.
Yeah.
And I just 17 is a really fun place to be.
Yeah, I think like your traditional racer, someone who grew up racing, might still want to be in that 2021.
Yeah, those people scoff at 17.
Right. That's slaloms.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that's the difference is turn radius and your ability to tap into that specific arc.
Yep. And then, I mean, really the conversation continues into this Redster X9s. This one's also essentially built the same as those last two Redsters. Same price, it's $1,049.95. Pretty similar weight, 3,250 grams on our scale here. The big difference here is this 65 millimeter waist width bob and a 14.8 meter turn radius. So basically right in between the slalom and the giant slalom Redster for turn radius. 65 is very narrow.
Yeah.
And like, I've skied this thing a lot over the years, and it is truly very, very fun to ski, but it is like the most precise thing I have ever skied, both in a positive and negative sense. Like, if you've got the right snow conditions, it is incredibly fun to ski. Anything remotely soft, and you dig right into the snow, and like, it can pretty quickly go from really fun to not that much fun at all. Do you know what I mean?
Just as you need powder for a powder ski, you
100
need hard pack snow for
Yeah.
a 65 underfoot.
Yeah. Like, New England night skiing.
That's a
Great.
X9s.
I mean, when's the last time you went night skiing and it wasn't icy?
Probably the last time I went night skiing, to be honest.
And it wasn't icy?
No, it's
I
not.
have just so many like memories of skiing, like growing up skiing Shawnee Peak or Pleasant Mountain, depending on when you've skied there, like just incredibly firm.
Yeah.
And like ski excels in those conditions. If you have like packed powder groomers even, they have to be really, really packed. And it's like, it's amazing that you feel such a difference between like 70
65 and
underfoot.
70 is a huge difference.
It's huge. Yeah. Like, you feel a bigger difference from 65 to 70 than you do from like 100 to 115.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, it's just
these
like
are
accentuated and exaggerated.
They're too narrow for packed powder.
Way too, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's very, very, very snow condition dependent. There's something that I love about this ski that is like, doesn't really affect the performance too much. It does a little bit. The plate is wider than the ski. Have you ever
I
noticed?
like that. No.
Like,
Yeah.
it's like, it's just, I mean, it's like a visual thing, and like, it's giving you a ton of leverage. So it is kind of changing the performance a little bit. But to me, it's just like a visual reminder that like you're basically on like an ice skate there.
Yeah.
So.
No, these make me wish I was a better skier.
Totally.
And could do them more justice.
Totally.
You know, I skied them this past year at Waterville, and it was pretty firm. It was appropriate X9s conditions on like that steep trail under that triple. And I just remember like as it bellies out, you know, and it runs out, which is nice because you got a whole wide trail ahead of you, that I let it run more, and they're totally composed at speed. Like, I was very impressed at how well they handled.
But the
longer
faster you
turns
ski on them, the more demanding they are.
Yeah, I can't do it.
Yeah.
You know, like when it was steeper, and I was actually following Megan down.
Oh.
And I'm like, I can't do that.
Was she also on
No,
this?
she was on, I think she was on like a G9 or something.
You guys probably should have traded.
It wouldn't have helped me either way. But you know, like certainly the limitation on this ski in the right conditions is me.
Yeah. Yeah, skier and snow conditions.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's unbelievable in the things that it can accomplish. And if you want just like the ultimate precision, you know, I think this ski and the WRT range, that's really where you should kind of focus your attention.
Yeah, and overall, for carving ski perspectives, I am 100% more comfortable on like a Redster Q9.
Wider.
Or Q9.8.
Little wider.
Like,
yeah.
This is
It's pretty demanding.
really challenging.
Yeah. again, it's like every time I ski it, I really enjoy it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like you're so mentally engaged when you ski it because you have to be so careful.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you don't like stuff the tip, you like stuff your toe.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I've done it several times on
I've
this
done it
ski.
on this E-Race Pro.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, nope, the snow is way
It
too
just
soft.
gives away and you're
Yeah.
just like, you just feel like you're going over the handlebars
Yeah.
right away.
Yeah, we can move into these heads,
Yeah,
these
just
Rebels here.
Two to end with here.
Once again, the difference between these two skis is shape here. So Rebels ESL Pro, again dealing with heads World Cup sandwich construction, beech and poplar wood.
Get a real race plate.
That's the biggest difference here.
First ski with like a real race plate.
Yeah. You know, graphene as well. Energy management circuit going on here. So pretty similar to the Supershape constructions, just a little bit denser overall. Again, this is, you know, still a step down from FIS level slalom skis, but it's as close as you can get from a consumer standpoint without literally walking into the race room. 122, 68, 107 gives us a 12.9 meter turn radius here in the 165. More slalom shaped. I mean, this is even a shorter turning ski, this original, which is pretty impressive. Just a slightly narrower waist going on there. 2,255 grams with this plate, no binding.
Yeah, you'd easily be up in the same weight range adding a binding.
Yeah. And we are, what is that, 1049 as well?
Yep.
No bindings.
Yep.
So that's kind of the difference between, you know, something like this original, you know, same price, but you have to add your own bindings here. And that'll have to be some type of Tyrolia branded race binding to go in there. But yeah, the plate does make a difference. You know, we talked about that, kind of the lack of the connectivity with the Rossignol. So basically just take the opposite of that conversation and put it on steroids, and that's what you're getting with a World Cup plate.
It's a nice plate too.
Yeah. Yeah, and it just really solidifies this underfoot zone. And there's a big reason why you see World Cup level race skiers skiing on plates as opposed to systems, is because of that direct connectivity, that denser feel underfoot, and just the ability to kind of modify that stack height there.
It just gives you like that much more to stand on
Yeah.
right in the middle of the turn.
Yeah. So add your race binding to this, and this is as close as you're going to get to a legitimate FIS race room slalom ski.
Unless you just go buy an FIS race room slalom ski.
Yes. Which you're more than welcome to do.
Sure.
You know, just that'll add stiffness and density and even more demand.
Often don't come tuned.
Right.
You know, like
you gotta
that's
put your own.
If you're like, it's not true with every brand, I don't think. It might be, but oftentimes FIS skis come totally flat, like no base,
edge,
base bevel at all, and like so it's like a little more demanding in that sense. You need to like be more involved in the setup process.
Have you also seen people take these plates off, turn them upside down, and fill them with elastomer material? So like there's like grooves and channels here.
I haven't, but I love that.
Yeah. So it's like basically empty.
Yeah.
So if you take it over and flip it upside down, and then whatever that material is
just
there,
put more of that in.
Put more of that in, and then
put
it back on, and there you go. So yeah, that's the slalom version. And whether you think that's more demanding than the GS, or multi-turn version, I should say, because there is an E Speed Pro, I think, as well.
Yeah, this is the E Race Pro.
More of a multi-turn.
This guy, we get the 16.8 meter turn radius, 68 underfoot. Everything else that Bob said about the last ski remains true about this ski. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's a lot of ski.
Yeah.
But very well designed.
Proper conditions.
Yeah.
Skier dependent.
Yeah. It's actually got a little bit of a softer flex than I remember it having, and you can if you flex it, you can feel the plate
Yeah.
kind of like gliding over the top sheet a little bit, which is pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, it's like, I don't know. I think you could make some arguments that other skis would be more demanding than this one, but I think it's a good place to end because, like you were saying, Bob, it's like pretty darn close to full World Cup race room build here. 17-meter turn radius, or close, 16.8. Is that what I said? Yeah.
Yeah.
All those things add up to a pretty demanding ski, and I think it's a good one to end on.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just more comfortable and capable at those higher speeds
Yeah.
and longer turns.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
if
it
that's
just,
your preference, then it's an E-Race Pro all day.
just like feels so solid. Phenol sidewalls.
Yeah.
Like everything about it is full on race, and like such a perfectly finished tail there.
Yeah. I mean, like Atomic, Head has just an incredibly robust race department.
Yeah.
And very clear that they're factoring a lot of that into this Rebel series in the E-Race Pro.
Yeah. So, pretty darn demanding. This tail is just, the more I look at it, there's a big solid chunk of metal back there, and it's so flat and it's so squared off. That is not really going to let you out of anything.
Nope.
That's where Graham's tuning clinic from last night would really come in handy, because this is a type of ski where, you can take like a gummy stone.
Yep.
And he was talking about doing progressive amounts of softening the sharpness of the tail. So you do one pass with your gummy stone where you just go to there.
Yep.
And then you do another one from tail to here, and then another one from tail to here, and then another one from tail to here. So at that point, this section has seen 4 passes of the gummy stone. This has seen 3,
Yeah.
2, 1. So if you want to be able to stivet on a ski like this, a little progressive softening of the tail could go a long way. Tricks of the trade,
He's a wizard.
right?
I just remember he tuned my skis once, and I'm like, what did you do? They just felt,
Why do they feel so good?
why do they feel so good?
Yeah.
Never been on a ski like it.
Yeah, so maybe that's a great place to end. If you are buying this ski, I would definitely encourage you to check out Graham's tuning clinic, and we're going to do more of them. So yeah, if you are shopping in this category in general, I think a little bit of home tuning is kind of important.
Yep.
It's like you're going to spend a lot of money if you go and have these tuned by a shop every single time you ski them, and a ski like this, in my opinion, does deserve to be essentially tuned every single time that you ski them. And I'm going to bring up my favorite contrast. This basically never needs to be tuned.
Just send it.
And what a fun,
Yeah.
what a fun stark contrast to end on.
Yeah.
So that's all I have. I mean, I think I don't know. I think it's fun to have that slalom versus giant slalom conversation of what's more demanding. You could flip the last 2 skis here. I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
But they're both pretty demanding, and good place to end. And yeah, another one, 1049, no binding. That's it.
That's it.
Anything else you want to say about really narrow skis?
Just they're specific.
Yeah,
Be
they're
sure
pretty-
that aligns with what you do and where you ski.
Yeah, they're pretty one-dimensional.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, I don't know, it's interesting because this is like kind of where everybody used to be.
Right.
For width.
Yep.
But I think like there's a lot of reasons not to be here.
Especially given the shape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just as many reasons not to shop here as there are to shop here. And I think like it's kind of one of those things where if you're not sure if a ski like this is going to be right for you, chances are something slightly wider would be better. But for those people that know what they want and they want the ultimate precision, this is where you should be.
Yep. And hard snow.
Yep. So that's it. Next up, we'll be going much narrower into all these skis over here that you can't see, but I can see. They're all just tempting me. Some real fun ones in there, Bob.
Oh yeah.
So we will try to have that out next week. In the meantime, let us know if you have any questions about this category. Often a category that comes up with a lot of comments and questions, maybe more comments. I bet we'll get a lot of statements and opinions.
We'll let you know.
Yeah, looking forward to the statements and opinions, and yeah, we'll talk to you soon.
Bye.